Tonight at 5, we'll tell you why a group of schools, teachers, and students are suing the Wisconsin legislature.
And the case against a father-daughter duo arrested in connection to a homicide moves forward. We'll tell you the charges against them.
Plus, how a new law is helping a local business make things a little easier for people during one of the hardest days of their lives.
And you're watching News 3 Now at 5. And good evening. Thanks for staying with us tonight.
A wintry mix is moving through Wisconsin tonight. Meteorologist Blaze Keller is here with the latest on the radar. Where's it snowing now, Blaze?
Currently, Rock County. For everybody else, it has pretty much moved on, and it's moving quickly. At the top of the 4 o'clock hour, it was in Dane County. Now, it has slid off into Rock County. So, Rock County, this is already beginning to exit at least northwestern parts of our county. Whitewater into Janesville, further south and west into Orfordville. That's where we find the heaviest snow right now. Not expecting much in the way of accumulation, though. Probably a half an inch at best. Not only is there not a lot of moisture, but this is also moving, as I mentioned, quickly. Back into Waukesha, outside of our forecast area, we're dealing with some snow there as well, but we find some lingering snow showers up near Partyville, as well as into Portage, south, of Bell Fountain into Cambria. This is going to continue to push its way south and eastward, but we are really going to remain quiet for the rest of this evening with a few flurries lingering through the early evening before we settle underneath partly cloudy conditions and breezy conditions tonight. 50s are in the forecast when they return, how long they stick around for, and if there's any more snow, that's in a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Wisconsin schools and teachers are suing the state legislature.
On News 3 Now, Sarah Carlson joins us now with the details here. And Sarah, are any schools in our area part of this lawsuit?
That's a good question, Susan and Eric. The Beloit School District is among a group of districts, teachers, unions, parents, and students who say the legislature has failed to adequately fund public schools. The lawsuit says the state is violating the state constitutions requiring that all children be provided with an equal opportunity for a sound, basic, and uniform education.
That simply isn't happening. The funding that the state is providing for schools is making it impossible for school districts to fully prepare those students.
This comes amid an ongoing battle between the governor and the Republican-controlled legislature. Back in 2024, a record number of schools asked voters for property tax increases to fund their local districts. To relieve the burden on the taxpayer, the GOP-controlled legislature wants to buy down the school tax levy credit. However, Republicans are not on board with the governor's ask for $450 million in general school aid. Now, this case is likely to end up before the liberal-leaning Wisconsin Supreme Court. Susan and Eric.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Now to continuing coverage of a homicide in Dane County. The case against a father and daughter charged in connection to a deadly January shooting will now move forward. In court today, Jorge Baez was bound over for trial. His bail of $2 million continues. Prosecutors have charged Baez with 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide. His daughter, Melissa Basilio Ruiz, is his co-defendant. Prosecutors have charged her with 6 counts of possessing a gun as a felon.
Police say Baez shot and killed 34-year-old Luis Sotera Herrera on Primrose Lane in the early morning hours of January 25th. Video from home surveillance cameras allegedly shows Baez walking away from the area where Herrera was found holding a gun. Basilio Ruiz allegedly told police the victim was her ex-boyfriend. She'd confided in her father that he was physically abusive to her. Court records show officers found 6 guns at her home, which she is not legally allowed to have as a convicted felon.
Now, the next court date for Basilio Ruiz and Baez has not yet been set. We'll keep you updated on the case over the air and online. And to receive notifications directly to your phone, simply download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
A garage in Columbus is considered a total loss after a fire this morning. Firefighters responded to Richmond Street around 4:30 for a fully engulfed garage. The building, several cars, and everything inside are destroyed. Crews faced some tough conditions with downed power lines sparking and windy weather blowing smoke across the road, but luckily no one was hurt.
Right now in Wisconsin, current law does not impose the death penalty for any state crime. Two Republicans in the legislature are trying to change that. Senator Chris Kapenga and Representative Elijah Behnke want the state to be able to punish someone by death if they commit first-degree sexual assault against a child under the age of 12. That would extend to those under 13 if the assault results in great bodily harm. The legislation would require DNA evidence tying the person to the crime in order for the death penalty to apply.
Meanwhile, state Democrats are looking to raise Wisconsin's minimum wage. The current minimum wage is set at the federally required minimum of $7.25 an hour. This bill would more than double the minimum wage to $15 an hour. The bill also sets a goal of bringing that up to $20 an hour by 2030. Compared to our neighbors, Wisconsin is an outlier. Illinois, Michigan, and Minnesota have all raised their minimum wages to exceed the federal requirement. 27 other states have done the same. One of the lawmakers behind the bill, Senator Kelda Roys, who is also running for governor, says this would not only bring Wisconsin in line with most of the country, it would also help out 1 million Wisconsinites.
A free market that doesn't give families enough to meet the basic necessities is a failed market, and we do not have to accept it.
Now, if passed, this would mark the first increase in the minimum wage in Wisconsin since 2009.
Wisconsin is joining states like Illinois, Minnesota to increase visibility for funeral processions.
Political reporter Ellie LaLiberte joins us now in the studio with more on what does this new law change, Ellie?
Well, Susan, funeral processions are now able to use purple lights to identify the first vehicle in the caravan. It's something advocates say will increase both safety and respect.
In our industry, working with families, it's at some of the toughest times they are going through.
It may seem hard to do, but Matt Gunderson likes to find the positive in his job.
We hear so many stories about the family, you know, some of the big ones and a lot of the little ones too.
Which is why he knows the value in every part of the process.
The funeral procession is one of the last steps of taking someone to their final place of rest.
So for the past year, he's been in favor of increasing visibility for that final piece of closure for families.
Recently, the law changed for us to be able to use purple lights during our funeral processions on our vehicles.
Previously, funeral processions could only use amber lights, a color used by many other work vehicles. Gunderson says that made it more difficult to differentiate the beginning of a funeral procession.
You know, we were having some trouble with visibility and running into problems during traffic.
We thought it over and said, you know, it all makes sense.
State Representative Dean Cawford authored the legislation that passed and was signed into law with bipartisan support.
At the end of the day, it went through the legislature pretty simple, you know, unanimous in both houses, and it's made a difference.
That difference,
It's a very distinctive light.
for the people Gunderson spends his career helping find closure.
So I think it does draw attention to it a little bit better.
Now, the law just went into effect in December. Gunderson told me he expects more funeral homes to begin implementing that light throughout the year. If you see a funeral procession on the road, he says drivers should slow down and never cut through the caravan.
Ellie, thank you. Nominations are officially open now on channel3000.com for the Spirit of Service 2026.
That's right, News 3 Now and Vortex Optics once again teaming up to recognize our veterans who continue to serve their communities long after their time in uniform. Nominate a deserving veteran by sharing their story online at channel3000.com by March 22nd. Vortex will narrow down those nominations to a final 5 and will share their stories. We'll then give you a chance to vote for your favorite. A winner will be chosen and announced on April 15th.
Still ahead tonight at 5, News 3 Now continues to honor Black History Month.
The story of a local group using the power of dance to create opportunities for young people in the Black community.
Plus, a volatile weather pattern will move through Wisconsin later this week. Blaze joins us with when we can expect to see temperatures in the 50s and how quickly after we might get some heavy snow.
And on Wall Street today, the Dow taking back some of Monday's big losses with a 370-point gain. The Nasdaq adds 236. S&P 500 jumps 52. And we'll be right back.
This Black History Month, we're spotlighting a local group creating opportunities for the Black youth community through dance and mentorship.
Yeah, consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn shows us how KLJ Movement is making an impact and keeping lessons affordable for families.
Kyra Johnson, the founder of KLJ Movement, tells me she started teaching dance lessons as an extension of herself.
Ready, 6, 7, 8. It's a sensation in my body. It's almost like a spiritual awakening at the same time.
Kyra Johnson is transforming the lives of local kids, turning the power of dance,
A sense of relief and freedom and groundedness in my movement.
into an opportunity for inclusion and community.
We're gonna run it again from top. It's really beautiful to see even some of the dancers that have been with me since the beginning and like where they are now and like their skill set as well as their confidence.
Growing up, Johnson says she didn't see herself represented in dance spaces.
So I wanted to provide this space for people as young as 4, as old as 88, to have a space where there is diversity, but also they get to see themselves in the space, right?
Her program, KLJ Movement, offers ballet, modern, hip-hop, jazz, even some musical theater.
Art in general is really important because it's an opportunity to enhance your critical thinking skills. And with that, dance is also healing, it's meditative, it's expression, and it's an opportunity for people to explore parts of themselves.
Cameron says her favorite thing she's learned so far is ballet.
I like it because it's really graceful.
It's more than a performance.
And breathe, breathe.
It's a pathway to empowerment for Black youth.
For Black youth in particular, it's really important for them to have that space to be free, to explore who they are, while also being taken serious in their craft and appreciated in their craft.
It's really kind and funny, kind of strict, but also like pushes us always and like tells us how to do it right.
Johnson emphasizes how ballet, a European dominant form, is rooted in African influence.
We can take ownership of that and we can reclaim that for ourselves.
KLJ Movement
Make sure you breathe.
runs entirely on Johnson's volunteer work. She keeps classes as affordable as possible, even as costs climb.
Hopefully, as years go by, we can get more funding so we can offer more scholarship opportunities for dancers, because dance is expensive, especially right when we go to competitions and so forth. So that's really been our biggest struggle.
For anyone interested in supporting the group, it welcomes donations of all sizes to continue providing a space for the community. You can find a link to donate on KLJmovement.org.
Thank you, Michelle Renee. And you can find all of our Black History Month stories, by the way, online at channel3000.com.
Let's turn to weather now. Meteorologist Blaze Keller tracking a wintry mix tonight and then more snow later in the week, Blaze. Is that right?
The chance Wednesday night into Thursday's not looking as impressive, but the chance this weekend continues to look as though it might come together. So yes and no. Yes, during the week, we're saying goodbye to at least Wednesday into Thursday's chance, but we're not completely done with those snow chances in the extended forecast. We're still dealing with some snow at this hour, but it's already moved out of Janesville. Again, this is a very fast-moving line of snow, with the heaviest extending from even south and west of Beloit all the way back north and east, pretty much hugging 43 at this point. Janesville, the worst of it, is off to our south and east. Right now, it's currently over Williams Bay into Elkhorn, into Clinton as well. Beloit, we're also dealing with some of that heavy snow. Looking northward, Beaver Dam, once again along 151, stretching from Waupun all the way back south and west. We're dealing with, marked by these dark blues here, patches of at least light to moderate snow. Rio, it is just off to our south and east, moving into Columbus. Don't expect much again, only looking at about a half an inch at best. As I mentioned, the chance Wednesday night into Thursday is not looking too impressive. So pretty much through the rest of this week, we're going to stay quiet and temperatures will warm on up back into those 40s by Thursday, 50s by Friday. But then, because we are in that point of the year where we get these warm days and then we cool back down, we see another chance for snow as we head Saturday and then again on Sunday. Of the two, I would say Sundays is looking more impressive. Even within the last hour, some of our models have shifted this back to the north. And that's to be expected over the next couple of days. Little shifts in the path. But we're likely not going to see this, say, move across into the East Coast, really eliminating our chance. We're consistently seeing this round of snow moving across parts of southern Wisconsin, particularly Sunday evening into Monday. We're going to continue to see little movements within the path. That's obviously going to change who sees the snow and then how much they could see. So we're not going to talk about snow quite yet. It's still a little bit too early, but as we're planning for the next couple of days, already looking ahead to the weekend, know that Sunday into that following Monday, we could be accumulating, I would say at the very least, maybe 2 to 4 inches of what looks to be wet, heavy snow. 40s on Thursday, 50s on Friday. There's those snow chances Saturday and Sunday. If we do get a decent amount of snow, Monday might be a little bit cooler, Tuesday as well, but temperatures will gradually rebound back into those upper 30s to low 40s by the end of that first week of March. And this is what we're going to continue to do over the next couple of weeks. Warm on up, cool on down, and then we warm on up as we transition out of winter into summer. So over the next 2 weeks, it does look like that bullseye of warmer than normal air is set to be over parts of the Midwest. I wouldn't get too excited. I haven't seen any prolonged warm-ups or any 60s, certainly no 70s in the extended forecast. Just keep in mind, warmer than average is either, it can be by simply a degree or at the very least a half a degree, not 20, 30, 15 degrees above average. So just keep that in mind as we get our way into March. Another viewer sent in another beautiful photo of some deer enjoying that snow this afternoon in Linden Station. Thank you, Frank. A doe, a deer, another deer somewhere probably. Send all those photos to that QR code.
Female deer.
Yeah. Or through our First Warn Weather app. You can also submit them on our website as well. There's a look at the 10-day forecast, a rain snow mix by Tuesday of next week as well, but in the immediate future, just enjoy kind of that quiet Wednesday night and the 40s and 50s to end this week. And also don't forget, tomorrow is the First Warn Weather Team Severe Weather Ready Special. We will tell you many things about how watches and warnings are issued from the National Weather Service, because actually we don't do that. The latest research on southern Wisconsin's severe weather season, what goes into us issuing alert days to make sure that you guys are staying safe, and much more. That will air tomorrow at 6:30.
All right, Blaze, looking forward to that.
Thanks, Blaze.
Up next at 5, Novo Nordisk cutting the cost of its popular weight loss and diabetes drugs, how much patients with high deductibles will have to pay now.
And a major fire in northern Wisconsin. Hear from one man who witnessed the blaze at a hotel in Superior.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
Well, take a look at this video. This is from last night up in Superior. This was at the Superior and Sage Hotel. The fire department says no one was hurt, but the building here partially collapsed. The damage estimated at about $1 million. One man who was there recounted seeing the nearly 10-foot tall flames.
I kept breaking the glass and to get the fire extinguishers, and then I pulled the alarm. And then I decided that I would go outside and try to fight it from the other side by the Quick Trip.
Well, a hotel down the road took in about 20 displaced guests for the night. An investigation into the cause of the fire is now underway.
In health news, Novo Nordisk is cutting the cost of its popular weight loss and diabetes drugs. The manufacturer says the list prices will be $675 a month beginning next year. That's about half the current list price of Wegovy and hundreds off for Ozempic and Rybelsus. The goal is to help patients with high deductibles or those paying co-insurance. Insured patients already have copays as low as $25 a month. The changes do not apply to self-pay patients.
Tonight, President Donald Trump will give the State of the Union address. The White House says the economy will be the major focus here. It comes days after the Supreme Court struck down one of the Trump administration's key economic policies, of course, the sweeping global tariffs. Ahead of the address, News 3 Now spoke with Wisconsin's Democrats and Republicans about the impact of the second Trump presidency more than a year into the second term. Senator Tammy Baldwin lamenting the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, while the state's GOP leader praised it.
The hurt that this bill will cause is not going away into the night. An estimated 250,000 Wisconsinites are set to lose Medicaid coverage.
What we're going to hear from the president tonight is the run of success that we're having in his first part of his term here. Look, we just delivered the largest tax cut in American history.
Well, the president set to speak tonight at the State of the Union, 8 o'clock our time. Watch News 3 Now at 10 for a recap of his address.
The Guthrie family is offering $1 million to anyone who can help bring their mother back. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie announced the reward on Instagram this morning. She has maintained hope that her mother is still alive since she was taken from her home more than 3 weeks ago. That hope appears to be fading as Guthrie acknowledged the 84-year-old may be gone.
We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves.
Guthrie also announced her family would be donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in hopes of helping other families like hers.
More than 3 feet of snow is blanketing towns in southeast Massachusetts. The cleanup from this week's bomb cyclone expected to take days now. 37 inches fell on Providence, Rhode Island, smashing a nearly 50-year-old record by some 9 inches. From Maine all the way down to D.C., residents are slowly digging themselves out from the biggest blizzard in decades. Even the plows had trouble there. Meanwhile, airports in several major cities, that includes New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, finally getting back up to speed after more flights were canceled again yesterday.
Well, stay with us. Blaze has a final check of our weather when we come back.
Coming up tonight at 6, a look at the damage done to a home in Partyville, how the couple who lived there is recovering while taking care of several cats. That and more local news next hour on News 3 Now at 6.
A reminder, nominations are open for Madison Magazine's Best of Madison. Log on to channel3000.com and click on the link to nominate your favorites. You have until the end of this month. We're also celebrating the city's best businesses and leaders. Join us for the Best of Business programs, February 27th. That's this Friday at the Concourse Hotel. And you can learn more and get tickets on our website, channel3000.com.
And Blaze is back. Final check of the forecast.
Going to be staying partly cloudy through the rest of the overnight hours, but until then, cloudy with a few flurries, especially further south and east. I would say until about 8:30 tonight. We'll settle into the teens as we lose the cloud cover. Winds will still remain out of the north, so a bit of a cooler Wednesday, but we're back into the 40s on Thursday, 50s by Friday, and it continues to look like we could be tracking more snow both Saturday and Sunday.
All right, thank you, Blaze. Have a good evening, everybody. Thanks for watching tonight at 5.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. You can always find us streaming 24/7 at Channel 3000+.